Has now cleared North Alabama and moved into Georgia. All tornado watches have been canceled. No active warnings except for flash flood warnings, and that'll be a big concern overnight tonight, that and debris on the roadways. Much more on your forecast for what to expect for tomorrow and the rest of the week coming up. It is 10 o'clock. The news starts
now. The Valley's first local newscast in high definition, covering the heart of the Valley. You are watching WAFF 48 News at 10.
A state of emergency in Alabama tonight. Deadly tornadoes, some a half-mile wide. Touchdown all across the state. WAFF 48 News crews are stationed throughout the valley and tracking the deaths, the injuries, and the widespread damage from today's super outbreak. Good evening, everyone. I'm Liz Hurley.
And I'm Mark Thornhill. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of WAFF 48 News at 10. Well, we have several fatalities tonight all across North Alabama.
That's right. Here's a rundown of what we have been able to confirm so far. Again, these are just confirmations. 3 people are dead now in Jackson County. 6 are dead in Marshall County. 2 dead in DeKalb County. 1 fatality in Madison County. 4 dead in Lawrence County. And 2 confirmed deaths in Franklin County. We have dozens of people who are unaccounted for tonight in Phil Campbell in Franklin County. The homes are gone, and there are several injuries.
We'll get to Phil Campbell in just a second. In the meantime, let's swing over to Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis, who has been one busy man tracking storms all day long.
Yeah, everyone has been busy. Meteorologist Brian Fowler staying during the overnight hours. He just left just a few minutes ago after tracking storms with us this afternoon. Meteorologist Jeff Castle tracking those deadly tornadoes earlier this morning that moved into the Sand Mountain area. And as of right now, I'm glad to tell you that the severe weather is over. A quick look here at the Doppler 48 network, and you'll see everything moving off to the east and northeast. For some, still without power. Some will be without power, as we will mention coming up in the newscast, potentially for a few days. All the lightning you see off in the distance, that is from storms that are moving away from us. So no threat for severe weather for the rest of the night.
Thank you. This is video. One of the survivors being rescued in Phil Campbell. We'll show you that video. Our crew flagged down a sheriff's deputy to let them know the woman was trapped there in Phil Campbell. It
was truly hectic. I mean, it was just bedlam over there in Phil Campbell in Franklin County. Our Nick Law was over there trying to ascertain exactly what had gone on there and how many injuries there were and what really was where he was standing a few hours earlier.
Let's check in with Nick now for the latest in Franklin County.
Absolute pure devastation here in Franklin County as a tornado ripped through this community around 3 o'clock this afternoon. You can see some of the devastation here. Limbs and trees falling in what used to be people's houses, people's lots and businesses here. A lot of heirlooms and all kinds of stuff trapped in this rubble. We have confirmed at least 2 people have perished in this tornado. They are shuttling people to the Russellville Hospital tonight. We can confirm to you that we have multiple ambulance crews from multiple counties coming out here to help assist in this cleanup effort. But just take a look at what we're seeing out here. You have fridges, you have all kinds of tree limbs, you have people's clothing just laying out here. This literally looks like a bomb went off. Officials out here telling us tonight, though, if you don't have to be in this community in Phil Campbell, avoid it altogether. It is absolutely just like a war zone. Reporting in Franklin County, in Phil Campbell, Nick Law, WAFF 48 News.
My hometown, Arab in Marshall County, has been extremely hit hard. At least 6 people are dead there tonight.
This is video of the tornado as it moved through Arab in Marshall County. Our crew was set up near the Guntersville Bridge. And you can see it right here. It is big as day right there over
Lake Guntersville. Yeah, from looking back toward the east. Devastation out of Arab tonight really is immeasurable.
Lives were lost, homes damaged. WAFF 48's Margot Gray live in our newsroom now with the latest. Margot, you saw it firsthand.
I did. It really was shocking for me to see it, just how widespread this damage was. Folks in Arab are dealing with massive damage tonight, especially folks who live on the Frontier and Ruth roads just off Highway 231, where we've confirmed 6 people lost their lives. Emergency crews raced to Frontier Road after hearing of people trapped inside their homes or homes even collapsing on them after a tornado ripped through the community. This is video from the area where crews would not even allow cameras past a certain point because of the amount of damage and so we couldn't interrupt their rescue efforts. We have confirmed a family of 6 all lost their lives on Ruth Road alone. Witnesses tell me a large tornado almost a mile wide took out more than 20 homes.
There's just nothing, devastation, no houses off their blocks. We passed dead bodies.
And I seen it coming, and then we went and got under the stairway in the basement. It's totally gone. I mean, you know, it's devastated.
Frontier Road is just one of the hardest hit areas in Arab. About 4 miles along Highway 231 still has down power lines and a gas station that was completely destroyed. I'll have more footage from Arab later in the show. Liz?
Thank you, Margot. Families in the city of Madison are being asked to conserve water tonight.
That's right. Lieutenant John Stringer with Madison PD joins us on the phone. Lieutenant Stringer, thanks for joining us on this very hectic day. Let's talk first of all, no power there. How are you coping from a law enforcement standpoint? Is there a curfew in place?
No, there's no curfew in place. We have extra officers patrolling the streets right now. We're trying to make sure that we're getting out and making contact with people that may need assistance or may need help.
Talk about water. We mentioned the water, conservation of water, extremely important right now that people do conserve. I mean, how do you go about enforcing that?
Well, it's not really anything that we can enforce, but planning ahead, we want to make sure that people know that we need them to start conserving water. We've spoken with Ricky Pounders at Madison Utilities, and there is a concern that we may have some issues the further we go without power, that we may not be able to run the pumps through the wells and get the water to the citizens as they need it. So because of that, we are asking that they begin to conserve their water and be mindful of the water consumption.
Okay. Lieutenant Stringer, thank you so much. We'll be checking back with you. Thank you for your time tonight. All right, houses have been leveled in Madison County as well.
The hardest hit area has been around the Anderson Hills subdivision. Our colleague Kim Essex joining us now live. Kim, one confirmed fatality in Madison County tonight.
That's right, Liz. We are at the new public shopping center, which is on the corner of Highway 53 and Jeff Road. And ironically, my first assignment here when I came to WFF 48 in 1995 was to cover the tornado that hit Anderson Hills. And as devastating as that tornado was, this by comparison is just catastrophic. Most of the homes in the Anderson Hills subdivision have been destroyed, damaged, if not destroyed. We were not allowed inside the subdivision, but even from the street, you can see the devastation that was left behind. And looking across the street, there are some buildings that are just unrecognizable. We couldn't even tell what they used to be. We did see some gas stations that were almost literally blown into the street tonight. When we spoke with investigator Chad Brooks from the Madison County Sheriff's Department, he says tonight their efforts will be concentrated in the Yarborough Road and Old Railroad Bed area. That's where they still have several people who are unaccounted for and missing. We also spoke to several residents of the Anderson Hills subdivision who have to find a new place to stay tonight. That's because their homes have been totally destroyed.
We have victims, we have confirmed fatalities. Right now, the emphasis on getting the people where we know they need to be in order to assist and sift through the rubble and try to find these people that we know are there, we know are hurt.
Me, my wife, and my daughter went into the bathroom, and the tornado hit just like the movies. The house moved. In a matter of 10 seconds, everything I have in my life is gone. But not my family.
Your whole
my family is safe.
The officers were knocking on my door asking everybody's okay, and I said, yeah, everything is fine. So I really didn't think no damage occurred. So I go outside and all my neighbors' homes are destroyed. I look at my home, it's destroyed. So we were truly blessed.
Now, investigator Brooks says that rescue teams will work throughout the night to try to recover any survivors and unfortunately recover any victims that may still be unaccounted for. He also tells us that Sparkman High School has been open as shelter for displaced families. It will be open until further notice. And he also asks, if you don't have a reason to be in this area, please stay out of this area. They are trying their best to try to rescue and try to locate as many victims as possible to try to shuffle residents back and forth into their homes, and your being here will only hamper that if you don't have a reason. to be in this area. We will continue to stay on top of this story and bring you any new developments as we get them. But for now, reporting live from Highway 53 in Harvest, Kim Essex, WAFF 48 News.
Thank you. That Anderson Hills damage, just stunning. Our first storm-related fatality of this day was reported in the Jackson County town of Pisgah.
That's right. This is video from the scene in Pisgah. 45-year-old Kathy Gray died when her mobile home was blown apart. Her husband was injured. 2 other fatalities have also been reported in Jackson County.
Now, 4 people have died in Lawrence County. This is video just into the WFF 40 newsroom from the town of Trinity.
Flooding going on there. And a massive tornado caught on tape in Tuscaloosa.
Look at that. Classes have been canceled at the University of Alabama. Parents can call the UA Emergency Call Center toll-free 1-877-408-1001 to find out about loved ones down there as that huge tornado churned its way around the city of Tuscaloosa.
And we're still looking at more and more video coming in of the damage throughout North Alabama. It seems as though not one place has been left unscathed by these tornadoes today.
Absolutely, but we are experiencing now the calm after the storm. Brad.
The storms are gone. We're going to talk about your forecast coming up in a few minutes. A quick look at NextRad Doppler radar showing the storms now still into Cherokee County south of Weiss Lake. But for our viewing area, the threat of severe weather is over. I'll be back with a look at your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Huntsville Area Crime Stoppers on WAFF 48 recognize their scroll of honor sponsors. Buford D. Byram American Legion Post 176, Rocket City Federal Credit Union.
Coming to the state.
That's right. And Governor Robert Bentley today declared that we will be getting National Guard troops up in North Alabama. About 1,400 are coming up here to help clear the roads and do search and rescue going on. Many of those people who are being found tonight, those who are injured, are being sent to Huntsville Hospital. It is a top-level trauma unit. David Spillers, who is the CEO of Huntsville Hospital, is joining us now by phone. David, tell us what's happening at the hospital tonight. Who are you seeing coming in?
Well, it's been extremely busy, as you might imagine. We have received about 50 patients via various ambulance units, HIMSI and others around the region. Most of those have been, many of those have been critical patients. So it's been a very busy evening.
And you have, again, the key here is you've been going out in the community much more than normal, I would imagine, going to assist in all these towns around Huntsville.
Yeah, we've received patients from various communities in North Alabama. Of course, it's devastated all of North Alabama, not just Madison County. And we receive patients from a variety of counties that need the level of service that we provide.
Are there still more to come in, David? Because MedFlight hasn't been able to fly because of the weather. Are you having trouble transporting them by ground? And how are these ambulances that are being sent up from the lower part of the state going to help out?
Well, we work closely with HIMSI. I mean, they do a great job. We talked to them just before I came on the line here, and they expect more patients to continue to come. We think the initial rush is probably over, and as they're able to get into areas and get through the trees and clean out some of the debris, they'll probably find more people. We're also having some people drive in and walk in, so the 50 that were delivered by ambulance were specific by ambulance. We've got other people that are finding their way here on their own, so we expect this to continue for quite a while. We also expect it to be extremely busy tomorrow because since there's no power, most of the physician offices will probably be closed, so patients who need to see physicians will probably end up coming to the ED.
Yeah, let's talk about that no power for several days. How are you going to continue to function? How will it affect the functioning of the hospital?
Well, we've got a lot of generators. We've got about a total of 15 generators throughout the system, and we've got, as long as we can get diesel fuel, and we think we've secured plenty of diesel fuel, we'll have deliveries every day. We can run the main hospital and the main functions of the downtown campus with our generators. It's not ideal. Not every piece of equipment runs when it's on generator, but all the essential stuff is connected to the generators, and we'll be able to operate as long as we can get diesel fuel.
Let's talk about essential things. Do you have enough essential personnel there, doctors, nurses, your staffing? And tell us about some of the surgeries that are scheduled for tomorrow and perhaps the next 4 or 5 days. We're being told we could be without power for quite a while.
Yeah, we're asking that all elective surgeries be postponed until the power situation is corrected and we get through the crisis that we're dealing with in North Alabama. Staffing wise, we're fine. We had called a disaster right when this started to hit, which put our team on alert, and people started coming in early. We had the day shift here, and the evening shift came in, so we were double staffed during the biggest part of this, and now we started to scale back and get to a normal operation. We're normally busy, so we handle busy pretty well, but we're starting to scale back and try to make sure we got people scheduled to come in tomorrow. One concern is if there's no electricity anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, we've got people that travel a long distance. Eventually they're going to have to get gas for their cars to get in and out. So we'll have to manage that at some point in the next couple of days.
All right, David Spillers, CEO of Huntsville Hospital. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis with your WAFF 48 Storm Team forecast. We track storms.
Now we continue to track the severe weather south of Weiss Lake moving into Georgia. It is away from us now, and even though you may see some of this electricity off in the distance, especially with it being so dark in many areas out there, this is not coming back in our direction. Drier air is moving in. As we go to the Doppler 48 network, you'll notice everything is clear. Clean sweep out to the west, even though we do have some clouds out there. And again, another focus out here north of Atlanta towards Rome, Georgia. That's where the severe weather is right now. Also moving into areas of South Alabama. So overnight tonight, showers and storms. Temperatures will drop down to about 66. In fact, those showers and storms are over with. Going to go through some of these graphics. I really haven't had a lot of time to do the actual forecast, but again, that graphic slipped in there. We're going to take you through Pinpoint Predictor by 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe some spotty light rain showers, and that'll be it. Nothing severe around 2:30 in the morning. This is that cooler air coming in, so temperatures are going to be rather cool out there. And being without power, some areas may be a little chilly with low temperatures in the 50s. Low 50s out there tomorrow morning. Throughout the morning hours, much cooler air starting to move in. Not getting all the reporting stations in here, as you might imagine, after this round of severe weather. Temperatures right now are in the 60s. 64 in Florence with a northwest wind. It is 62 in Leoma. And here is your 7-day forecast. 72 tomorrow, 78 Friday. So warmer weather coming, very dry, and that's going to be critical for the cleanup out there over the next 3 days. And then as we work our way into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, chance of showers, maybe some thunderstorms out there. But right now, it doesn't look like we'll be dealing with any severe weather, but it's not going to be too cold. And sometimes when we get these tornado outbreaks this time of year, it can get very cold. So that would be one concern with no power. But right now, the forecast looks good.
That is a silver lining, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brad, for that. Dramatic, tragic video, pictures, and reports continue to come into WFF 40 News. Developing information on deaths, injuries, and widespread damage is coming up.
Stay with us.
Lawrence County, we have video just into the newsroom from the town of Trinity.
Untold damage in Lawrence County. I talked to the school superintendent tonight, and he says, school's out in Lawrence County tomorrow. So much devastation.
Absolutely. And it's
homes and
everywhere.
Buildings
Scattered. Look at that.
Ripped apart.
Absolutely. Meantime, 6 more people are dead in Marshall County.
Arab has been hit hard, very hard, all day long, pounded relentlessly. WAFF 48's Margot Gray live now in our newsroom. Margot, you came up on the damage just moments after the tornado actually crossed over Highway 231. Right?
Right, Liz, we literally drove right into complete chaos where everything was ripped up, torn down, and completely destroyed. Folks crowded into a nearby business just to seek shelter. Right next door, a Jet Pep gas station was completely leveled. Witnesses report the store clerk ran into the bathroom and did in fact walk out with cuts and bruises. If you can imagine someone walking out of that situation, even as everything crumbled around her. Beside the gas station was an auto body shop that was reduced to rubble. The owner sat there and pretty much cried with me, and he said that he watched 35 years of his life just crumble right in front of him.
There's nothing left. I mean, my shop's gone, all my race cars, my show cars, people's cars that I had in the shop. There's nothing left.
Came across here. It looked about a mile wide. Got out here as soon as I could. It's bad, it's awful. I mean, you can't really say anything other than that.
It's hard to describe just exactly what you would see out there if you just didn't go. I was surprised at just how many people felt compelled to pull over right there on the highway and start helping people pick up what debris they could. Cleanup in Arab will definitely take days and maybe weeks to get through all of that devastation.
And Margot, earlier you were telling us here on set about encountering a woman who was literally, and again, it's, you know, it is hard to talk about, but walking over bodies of neighbors.
It is hard to talk about. She walked up to us and just pretty much spilled out her heart in front of us and said that she has never seen anything quite like it. She was walking amongst people who she grew up with, her neighborhood that she's known forever, and she didn't recognize it. It's just completely torn apart. It's down to the ground, and she was saying that she saw, and it's sad to even think about it, but she saw babies even in their car seat, just on the highway, on the road, just thrown all over, just debris all over, horses dead. It's farm area over there as well, so there's horses, you know, farm animals just literally dead.
Tough to see, I know.
So tragic.
All right, Margot, thank you.
Right.
Well, 7 to 8 homes were destroyed off Glendale Road there in Arab. The tornado hitting them all within a matter of minutes.
The roof was ripped off several homes there. There was debris, trees, power lines, really down all over the street and in people's yards. As you can see, homes literally lifted off their foundation. Some residents lost their livestock, as Margot was mentioning, when the tornado blew through a lot of rural areas there. Fences down, bars down, animals thrown. Power is also out in that area tonight, as it is in much of North Alabama tonight. Many people said they were hoping to find a hotel for the night, but not so lucky.
Wow. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more team coverage of this deadly and dark day across the Tennessee Valley. We thought we would see a lot of that, and we may still see more of that. Meantime, several people are unaccounted for tonight in the Franklin County town of Red Bay.
2 people are confirmed dead there. Let's go now to WAFF 48's Nick Law with the very latest.
This is what's left of Phil Campbell School as this tornado came ripping through the town. You can see a car literally parked right in front of the main entrance here. Tree limbs just ripped like toothpicks. Some of the awnings literally laying on the ground. Now, these windows not blown off over here next to the classrooms, but if you come over here this way closer to the gym, this is when it starts to get even worse. You can see some of the windows up on top of the gym over there completely blown out. Some of the siding on the gym ripped out. We are told, though, that nobody was inside this building when this tornado came through around 3:30. Actually, school was called around 12:30. Students, all faculty and staff left at 12:30 this afternoon. A precaution just in case a tornado did rip through this area. As you can see, though, debris literally laying all over the place. Students walking around here in disbelief, not knowing even what to think now that their school is destroyed. We are going to stay on top of this. We're going to try to work and see if we can find out how many injuries were actually sustained out here in Phil Campbell. A tree just laying here on the concrete. In the meantime, reporting in Phil Campbell, Nick Law, WAFF 48 News.
I misspoke. Of course, that was in Phil Campbell, not Red Bay. Nick Law filing that report.
And many still unaccounted for tonight in the Red Bay and especially in the Phil Campbell area. So we're trying to ascertain exactly the number of missing and the number of dead.
And that'll continue through the night there. Madison County's been hit hard.
It really has. Let's go back now to WAFF 48's Kim Essex with the latest. Kim, I am verklempt. I'm amazed at what you showed us a few minutes ago about Anderson Hills. That is unbelievable.
Well, it was unbelievable, Liz. You know, we started this way probably shortly after 6 o'clock or so, and it took us a while to get here. We kept getting rerouted because the roads were closed because of down power lines and trees that were down. But once we got here, we could not believe the devastation that we saw. And as I mentioned earlier, I covered the 1995 tornado here in Anderson Hills, and that was devastating. This, by comparison, was just catastrophic. A lot of the homes have been destroyed. A lot of them have been severely damaged. Nearby businesses have also been damaged. You can't even tell what some of the businesses were. Now, from what I'm told, everyone in the Anderson Hill subdivision is accounted for, but I spoke with investigator Chad Brooks with the Madison County Sheriff's Department, who tells us there are still some people in the county who are unaccounted for. They are in that Yarborough Road area, old railroad bed area, and that's where the search and rescue effort will focus tonight. He also tells us that we can expect numerous fatalities. He would not venture to guess how many, but he did say that there will be numerous fatalities coming out of this storm in that particular area. We also want to remind people displaced families can go to Sparkman High School. It will be open until further notice. But it is still, up until a few minutes ago, seemed to be a pretty active scene. We still periodically see rescue vehicles, ambulances going down Highway 53. A little quieter right now, but I have to tell you, I have never seen so many police officers and sheriff's officials located in one area. We saw heavy lift machinery that they brought in to kind of dig through the rubble. It is definitely a collaborative effort tonight. They will be working throughout the night until they locate everyone that they know that is missing and unaccounted for. For now, we are at the Publix Shopping Center on Highway 53 in Harvest. Kim Essex reporting for WAFF 48 News. Mark, Liz?
Kim, we see lights behind you. Obviously, Publix has generators. We talked to you earlier about how a lot of people are gathering there, a lot of the residents, just to kind of gain strength from each other. It's kind of like a support group there, right?
Absolutely. Well, I spoke to someone who does not want to be identified, but they said when the storm hit, there were lots of people who actually ran into the store. So they have, as you said, been using Publix as a shelter for people, for families. We caught up with some residents in the Anderson Hill subdivision who we saw coming out, and they just had barely whatever they could bring with them. They had their clothes and a computer, and they had sought shelter in the Publix shopping center. I think right now they're closing. They said that they've probably sold just about everything that there is to sell, and they've closed up for the night. But it has been a wonderful bright spot in the middle of all of this devastation, to see the generosity of this particular store in allowing people to come in and dry off, get food, and just kind of gather their thoughts, because most of the people we saw here were just stunned. They could not believe what they had witnessed. They couldn't believe that their homes, all of their belongings were gone. But most of the people we spoke to said, you know, even though their homes are gone, their belongings are gone, their cars have been blown away, the fact that no one in the Anderson subdivision that we know of died or were that severely injured is a blessing in all of this.
That is the true blessing. Kim, good work. Stay out there. Let us know any updates that you have in the area, especially what Chad Brooks said. If there are more fatalities upcoming, do let us know about those.
Thank you,
Will
Kim.
do.
Our team coverage of today's storms continues right after this.